Hi, hi everyone. This is the very first chess video that I'll be going over today. Now, I'm gonna assume that when the viewer, whoever the viewer is, I'm assuming that they're new to the game. They have absolutely no knowledge of the game. So I'm gonna start from the very beginning on how to read the chessboard and how to also understand how to set up the original opening chess position, as you can see in this image right now. And we will go over today each piece on the board, the names of them, and what squares that they should be placed in place in the original opening position for any chess game. So we're going to look at first. So we're going to look at first the chessboard or checkerboard. So you can see in a chess game, they're using the same board as you would see in any checkers game. So here there are altogether total number of squares are 64 squares on a chessboard. Now notice one thing, they each have different colors, right? They actually have two specific colors. One happens to be light, the other one has to be dark. Now if you count each one individually, now half of the light squares are 32 squares, the other half 32 dark squares. Okay. Now each of these squares actually has a name behind, in terms of a chess, particular a chess game. Like you can record a game in person or over a board by actually based on understanding how the notation works, and I'm gonna mention that right now. So in order to actually understand how to read and read chess notation and be able to write chess notation down, you have to know what they call ranks and files. So what I have here, let's see if you guys can see the mouse cursor here. So here you see the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, and they represent the horizontal row. For so in this case 8 would go all the way to the other side, and then we have 7 going towards that side, 6 going towards that side, 5 going towards the other side of the board, and then 4, you have 3, 2, and 1. So they call, so it's called ranks, RANKS, and that's a good way to understand the chessboard even more. Now when you look at this area, as I'm using the mouse cursor, getting to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H, they represent what they call files, FILES. So those are called files, and they represent each one A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. They all represent, in this situation, vertical rows, as you can see. So this represents the A file heading all the way up to 8. Okay, the number 8 square. So if you're reading this, this now becomes the B file all the way to the N, C file, D file, E file, F file, G file, and H file. So it's the same thing for the other one, but you call it ranks. So this represents rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4, rank 5, rank 6, rank 7, rank 8. So each square, each 64 squares has a name for each one, and basically ranks and files, because each one is designated with a letter and number. This is how you name each square. So Now you just have to always remember when you're recording the move in the game, you also have to remember that it's always going to start out with a letter first and a number. So it's going to be easy, you know. So in this situation, you just look at this A. So this represents what, A1. So you have a square like, let's see, the squares in the middle. So this represents what square? Well, just look down at the letter first. So this represents a D file, and it's heading towards what rank? Okay, D4. So if you were to write that in a game, a move in a game, you write down D4. Okay, but of course it all depends on what piece you're using to move that piece to that square. So also here, for example, this represents A5, A5. So you have this square on here where I have my mouse cursor in place. Now you just go down, look at this G, and then go to your left, G5. So you have coordinates in play. So we're going to go to understanding the names of each piece. Okay, so every chess game will consist of 16 men for chessmen for white and 16 men for black. Now these pieces in front of what's behind it, these are pawns. Okay, so in this situation, every chess game at the very beginning opening position, the pawns have to be on the second rank for white, and for black, black also has 8 pawns. Okay, and they are always on the 7th rank every time at the very beginning of the game, the original position, opening position. Now there are some situations where sometimes maybe somebody feels that they're better than the other opponent. They have a handicap match where they're willing to give a free pawn away or a few pawns away. So that's another way where they can play. But in the actual real game, the official game of chess, basically the pawns are always on the second rank. No missing pawns. Black has pawns on the 7th rank. Now for white, so we're going to look at each piece now. So the pieces on the corner for both colors, white and black, they are known as rooks. Okay, ROOKS. And some for beginners, people who are new to the game, they will look at that piece and think that it's a castle. So that's another common name for it. Some a lot of beginners will make the distinction of that particular piece as a castle, but it's named a rook. Okay, so the original position for two of white's rooks are going to be located on A1. So rook A1, and then the other one's going to be located on rook H1. And for black, black's rooks is on, in this case, right, A8, right? You look at this, A8, and then you look at this case, you look at the letter first, H goes all the way to 8, so rook H8, okay? Now, we go on to the second piece now. After that rook, we go to the second piece, and this looks like a horse. People new to the game, beginners, they will call it a horsey. It looks like a horse, and but the name for that particular piece is known as a knight. So it starts, knight is Knight. So this knight is for white at the very beginning. Is always going to be on G1, and also it's always going to be on B1. Now for black, black is his knight, so always going to be on B8. And this knight is always going to be on G8. And then after that piece, we go on to next one. Next one is looks like a. It's very interesting. This is known as a bishop, but it almost looks like so. I'm assuming this looks like a bishop mainly. It's called bishop mainly because it looks like an archbishop's hat. So yeah. So these bishops for white always starts at F1 and C1 for black, it all starts at c8 and f8. Okay, and then after the knight, after the bishop, we have now the king. This is the king. Okay, king is always going to be on e1 for white, and black's king will always be on e8. So don't make the mistake of switching the king over to the other side, but that will not be a real game. This is not chess 960, not Fisher random chess. In the actual game, the actual real life game, for the most cases, the king is always on e1, and black's king is always going to be on e8. And right next to the king is the queen. So that's the queen. The queen's always going to be on d8, or the queen will, in this situation, the black queen is always going to be on her square, her dark square for black's case on d8. Now for white's queen is always going to be on d1, and it's always going to be on its light square in the center of the board. Now, right behind the pawn. So in this case, it's actually not quite the center of the board. It's just not quite. But what I meant was center here between. So on d1, e1. So in this case, e8 and d8. So there you have it. Mentioned how you basically read the number of squares on the board, how you read and interpret each one, relying on ranks and files. Each square has a name, using letters and numbers, and then you also learn how the names of each piece, pretty much, and how you set up the board in the opening position of the game. That's the original position of the game. Now, one more key thing to note is in every chess game, always remember the light square on the right. So every single time in the actual game, the official game, when you're playing in a rated tournament or event, or even for fun, the game always has to have the lower right corner. It has to always be a light square. It can never be a dark square, according to the official rules of the game. So always remember that. Some a lot of beginners there, they're new to the game. They're trying to learn and trying to enjoy the game, have fun. They will forget that. They will forget this part about light on the right. They will also forget about where the queen is located and where the king should be located. Sometimes I've seen games where beginners, they just one of them has a correct setup. The other one decides to rotate and move the king to the other side and the queen to the other side, which isn't really a chess game. And that's they're trying to play 960, but I don't think they're trying to do that. But yeah, there you go. Okay, all right, you guys have a good day. Take it easy. You can like or dislike this video. Comment. You're interested in more videos, you can also subscribe. Even better. So next time we'll go over some more chess with a different new video.